Nakitlong ka Ri Khasi. Ngiwan lam shapi ko sngur bakhuit parpashngam. Ka beats aqua. Shpausnem dang yai pinja sliang.
Ka East West Group of Institution Bangalore, ka Cot Admission nakamta ka Nursing but Paramedical Course, ka bala ithu da ka Indian Nursing Council, ka by admission ka badunatam, but shispa % ka jinyokam. Pila ru ban apply da ka education loan.
Ka kunhun menteri jong Sorkar jylla kala menjur bakan mapno de kispa Klur tingka ka Kuna jogi Khajna yi kitrai Trok da ka bawanra ya ka jingsio ka batang sisin sio ban depno ne ka one time settlement scheme OTS. Aba penbena ya ka negara menteri rangba ka jylla konrad ki sangmau la pentip baka Kuna na ka Khajna pa klemsio da kitrai Trok kala jankot kumba khandai spa Klur tingka ya ka ba menta ka Sorkar kan pha siu no tang 10% ka Kuna patang 40% ka Khajna MV tax bat ka passenger tax ulong badon bun bhagi Trok bat ki kali kamai ki ba kamai hakaleng jo ka jylla ki ba klem siu satya ya ka Khajna bat ka passengers and goods tax but fitness don ru ki ba klem siu la licenem hadu arpos nem ulong na ka daw jong jing bam siu lesi ka jing bam poi prakhat ne shimkhya ka Kuna ka kiu man la ka sngi ya ka ba ki try ka li ne ki nongnya kim tep satya ulong balada khen tang ya ka Kuna ha ka bai dei bat ka fitness kan poi ku makhnai spa Klur bat ka MV tax kan long ku ma arpoi Klur bat sa san Klur ka Kuna ya ka goods and passengers tax but nakalang ka Sorkar ka snow baka long ka badon kam banbu bait no da ka dor ban siu but ban pintikina pagi try ka likin siu bait ya ka Khajna nang ni shakmat u konrad uloong baka ni ka raj ka Sorkar ka long namar bajan boro ki try ka li ki dei ki try jylla but ki brio lajong but kan kta yaki ada pha siu dut ya ka Khajna pat ka Kuna umunti rangba uloong baka Sorkar ka larai bakan map no khandai 4% ka Kuna ne penalty but 4% ka Khajna MV tax goods and passenger tax but la aipo ri ki try kali bakan siu ya ka OTS hapo ka laipoi trek nailar August but dagde ka jingmap ka Sorkar kan yot tangkumba shispa arpo hadu shispa sanpho Klur.
An introduction of a one-time settlement scheme for waiver and reduction of penalties relating to motor vehicles tax, passenger and goods tax and fitness fees. As you are aware that there are many trucks and transporters who have been functioning and working in different sectors in the state in different sectors. And in the past many years, say anything between 3 years to the last 20 years, there have been many of the different transporters and different vehicles and commercial vehicles who have not renewed their motor vehicles taxes, passengers goods taxes, and have not gone ahead with the fitness fees either. Now this was for multiple reasons. Somewhere the enforcement was not to the point where it should be. Somewhere, the drivers themselves or the owners themselves of commercial vehicles, they did not take interest in actually renewing these. And after the different acts and laws that have come out from the central government, the fees for these kind of taxes are actually quite nominal, but the penalty that is charged on them for not renewing is something that is actually quite extreme, I should say. And just to give a small example to you, that the penalty for no fitness certificate, though the fitness certificate fees is about 1,200 rupees annually, the penalty for not having this is 50 rupees per day, which means if you don't renew it, you end up spending almost close to about 18,000 rupees just as penalty piling up or that particular vehicle owner. So the fees, though being rational, the penalties were something that were quite irrational, I should say. And that is an amount that's set up by the government of India. So in our basic calculation, we could see that if you just put the calculation of the penalties alone, especially when it comes to the penalties on no fitness certificate, the amount, if we were to calculate for all the trucks and vehicles, the amount would come up just with the penalties alone at about 900 crores. This is just a ballpark figure we have. And similarly, if you look at the figures for MV tax, it's about 21 crores. And if you look at the figures for 21 crores, and for the goods and passengers is about 5 crores. And as I said, if you look at the figures for the penalty, it's about 900 crores. So we realize that we need to ensure that a rational number comes out to allow these particular trucks and drivers and truck owners and commercial vehicles to actually sustain themselves, but at the same time also ensure that in the future all these commercial vehicles and truck owners are regular in their payments. And so keeping both these objectives in mind, and also keeping in mind that almost you can say 100% of these truck owners, drivers are all local people. They are all our own citizens. And therefore, if you're not able to find a solution to this, it will lead to a huge loss in terms of livelihood and financial stress for our own people. And a lot of them are poor people who have been using their vehicles for many years. And hence, we kept all of these factors in mind, and we came to a decision today that since the penalty figures which we saw, we felt were very high and they are notional numbers, and as I said, they've been just collecting for the last 20 years, we have decided in the cabinet that we will be exempting, as a one-time settlement, we'll be exempting 90% for the penalty for no fitness certificate. 90% will be exempted there. And for the MV tax and the goods and passengers tax, we will be exempting 80% from this in the one-time settlement, which will allow the different drivers and different commercial vehicle owners at least the space to then be able to come back to normalcy, and will not put financial stress and burden on them. And we will be able to then regularize and monitor the future registrations and future fitness certificates in a proper manner. So this is a huge one-time settlement that we're doing for our transporters, keeping in mind that these are our people, our local people, and this kind of a stress would definitely lead to complete loss of livelihood, and in a way a complete halt to the overall transportation system within the state, as I said, especially keeping in mind our local people being involved in it. We should expect about 120 to 150 crores coming in. But please remember that these numbers look like as if it's an amount that they have to pay. But please remember that this is majority, 900 crores of this is actually a penalty which is put every day for not having a fitness certificate. So suppose a person did not even know that he or she had to bring this fitness certificate. This number is accumulating every day. So 50 rupees, and suddenly after 1 month it's about 18,000. Then after suddenly about 2 months it's about 36,000. So the person doesn't even know that this number is accumulating. So this accumulated number is what I'm talking about. So suppose you owned a truck for 15 years and you didn't get a fitness certificate, the dues that you have to pay in terms of penalty would be in lakhs. So this is not like an amount that they have to pay to us, but it's an amount that is a penalty which has been piling on because of the rules and the laws that have been passed by Government of India, and this amount has been fixed by them, so it is automatically generated. But we have decided, as I said, to waive this off, because now if we go into details of all of this aspect, we would be really putting a lot of financial stress on our transporters, which would then impact them and maybe lead to closing down of many of the transporters at the same time, loss of many livelihoods.
And why the officers did not collect?
So it was both ways. So it was, yes, we have issues with manpower also. And this was again an issue that both governments, had been working on this. And this is an issue that is being faced, in fact, in a lot of states. And as I said, the numbers have been collected for the last 20 years now. So suddenly, suppose the rules came in and then you say now, those who don't have fitness certificate for the last 20 years, you have to pay this kind of a notional tax. So this is kind of almost like a transition phase where the new law is being implemented in a very aggressive manner, and this has of course now suddenly burst into a large number. And again, as I'm mentioning, it is not that this amount is due to us. It is more of a penalty, which is a notional number, which is collecting for the last 20 years for many cases. And in some cases, as I said, most people were not aware also that fitness certificate was required. So these are kind of challenges that are there. And of course, if we go into all of this, then, we'll keep looking at all the different reasons. We are here to find a solution and find a way forward. And we realize that the best way to do it is to get rid of this notional figure to some extent, and ensure that from now on, there will not be any more, everybody's going to stick to the rules and ensure that the fitness certificate as well as the MV tax and the goods and passengers tax is paid.
Lily, Pikalan.
Kanda pitharai kami kabisa. Baling itu na hadu kami.
Kenambay kami kami.
Mana bawan kata baci?
Lawan pun.
Ila khamsi taman ta.
Bila su palan. Wan num dan jeng tiang ai. Menta tu penhiar mesin suki-suki bat ngamo.
Kali jono kan ni?
Ba, ka hospital tinggal ajngai nang ni. Kabai kali pan?
Kabai kali latip ke Sorkar.
Binti Ashwa hang ni hadu nda dei por kamu.
Wat ku selaitan.
Ba kan dikas skim kalau ya rap cibun ya kilong yeng kum jong pi.
Shim kanay ka bam. Ku beli shibun sista. Ngidan ka man siwi ay.
Peruk kalau hika Sorkar.
Ku beli shibun. Ila dan aku jaga ka babyang.
Ke Sorkar ka jarab ikit kiba ablang.
Ku beli shibun.
Sister, hapsi ukat nama?
Ka Sorkar kala siulat ikijing lut jing separo.
Kabeli sipuan ma.
Ngiki bakar do ngampoi perkat banyo kum kani kajing yarap. Hawat kan?
Kanika Chief Minister Safe Motherhood Scheme. Kalau ay jing rap yang isibon bah kipat ba.